She lay there and she was limp and she was quite grey and she didn't make a sound. I literally felt like I was above myself just watching it all.
There's stuff that you can't talk to your wife about, or even to close family.
It wasn't until Zoe came out a couple of hours later, the midwife said, "Oh, did you see those guys running past?" Yeah, so that they were bringing the blood up. Yeah, it's tough. So I'm still processing that, for sure.
If you want men to really be the dads and be that active, present father in the house, they need help doing that.
How was school today, darling?
It was great. I got to be the queen.
The Queen!
I mean the princess.
Oh, the princess, that's even better.
Yeah, and Clayton Burrows were the guards.
Oh, that's nice. So at the end of the day, best thing is, close my laptop, go and pick up my daughter from school. And it's so good. We get to spend time together. It works for us, and I love doing it.
What's your new book about?
Well,
Oh, why are you saying it like that?
We both work very hard, but we also share the parenting responsibilities and childcare responsibilities equally in terms of school drop-offs, pick-ups, around the house. And I think that's what modern fatherhood is now. It's dads have realised that we can live more full lives and whole lives if we allow ourselves to embrace all the joys that parenting brings. It feels weird to be back here. There was a time when I was really struggling after my daughter was born. And there was a moment on a train after work, and I remember just crying. There were people around me, and yeah, it was a real kind of difficult moment, a moment where I realized that things were more serious than I'd allowed myself to believe. Looking back now, I'd been through a traumatic experience where you genuinely feel like, genuinely your family's life is in danger. And I hadn't accepted that, hadn't processed that. Functioning on a day-to-day basis was quite difficult. And it would just play on my mind over and over and over again. It was like literally a tape recorder in your mind, the memories, the flashbacks, kind of going on, especially at nighttime when I'm trying to sleep.
Gosh, we haven't looked at these memories for a while.
Let's have a look.
Okay.
That was the first one I sent to colleagues.
Okay.
The first picture I sent, and I remember the hat and that blanket, didn't your friend?
Yeah, she knitted it.
The blanket.
I don't often talk about the birth of our daughter because it was quite traumatic. I think my contraction started at like 5 a.m. Saturday morning, and I gave birth around kind of 3 a.m. Sunday morning. So it was a long time, really, really tired. And then when they brought baby out, they put her onto me, and she was grey. And I was like, she's not meant to look like that. And they put her onto me, and then quickly, like I remember the nurse saw her, grabbed her off me, put her on the side, and they were simultaneously trying to resuscitate her while like sucking stuff like out of her as well. That was heartbreaking for me. That was really hard. That was really hard. And I remember there was another mum on the ward who was crying because her baby wouldn't stop crying. And I just wished I had that problem, basically. And in that moment, I would have done anything to have my baby crying next to me.
And I felt like I was watching it in the third person. Like I literally felt like I was seeing, I was above myself, just watching it all and just trying to trust these doctors that I'd met that day to save my family's life.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Oh my gosh, I'm going backwards. I'm going backwards. All right. Okay.
Looking back, I really should have spoken about it at the time and really explained what I was experiencing and how I was feeling. But, you know, knowing what I know now, I definitely think I should have done. We want to provide a space for dads to share the ups and downs of parenting. We also want to show the world that fatherhood is diverse. Modern fatherhood comes in different formats, and that's regards to race, to age, to sexuality.
So Natasha's 26, Misha's 23, Luca's 14, Yelena is 7. She's just a little life.
I think it's so special to have us together gathering and being able to talk about mental health, around masculinity, around fatherhood in a space that's a safe space, and it really is a safe space. Over the years, we've helped thousands of dads. We have, our podcast where we speak to dads on a one-to-one basis, and we published a book which tells the stories of loads of different dads. I'm actually just writing to the NHS, the head of midwifery for England. But I want to arrange a meeting so we can talk about dads' mental health and what they can do to support dads and new dads through the process of becoming fathers. Hey, Chris.
You all right, Elliott?
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. So how's things? How you doing?
Yeah, good, I think.
You're about to be a new dad. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's going to be fun, I think.
It will be fun. Yeah, how are you feeling about it all?
Nervous to an extent. So there's an apprehension of you can do it right. Excited that we've been on a long journey to get here. Still hard not to have doubts that it's, not going to go wrong at the last bit. So.
Okay, so this is the hospital bag for baby stuff.
Yep.
So we've got some formula milk just in case breastfeeding doesn't work.
When I found out that my other half was pregnant, my feelings were largely of relief, if anything, having gone through the journey we had. For me, I think the nervousness is, will I be a good father? Mine left when I was 11, so I know about absence.
Yes, this is junior school. This is a woodwork class. We had a guy come in teaching us how to carve wood as a bit of a tree. It leaves you a sense of loneliness. Someone just left you. You weren't important. And yeah, it's on your mind. It sits there. The emotions there were very much anger with what was going on in my work situation, anger at what was going on in my past with, I suppose, with the father, and my relationship at the time wasn't functioning. I just felt everything was crumbling and I couldn't cope anymore. I went into behavioural therapy to try and understand what was going wrong in my head.
Do you have friends that you have like this kind of conversation with? Is it something that you're doing?
No, not really. I mean, the friendship group I've got some really good friends that when I've had tough times, they've actually been good. But we don't, in general, we're more laughing and joking and,
The meeting Chris was amazing. I think he's got a lot of challenges that I guess he's dealt with in his life. But ultimately, I saw a real strength of character.
So good to meet you and hear everything that, is happening at the moment, and massive congratulations. I think you're going to be a great dad. But anything you need, anytime you want to talk, just give me a call.
Thank you.
So I just met Chris, had a really, really good conversation with him, and it got me thinking about my own dad and the relationship that we have. I'm really excited about this conversation, a little bit nervous as well, because, you know, we don't really have these kind of conversations in depth about fatherhood, and I'm really interested to hear what it was like for him growing up. Hey, Dad, how you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I haven't seen you for a while.
I know. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was good. Yeah. Yeah, watching football.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
How's Eleni and...
Yeah, she's fine. She's at her grandma's today.
Okay.
Half term, so she's just relaxing there. And
yeah, is Eleni okay?
Yeah, she's good.
Good. This was the first photograph I think I've taken of you. That was in the hospital. That was, a couple of days old. I came in and I took that one. So that's probably the first one of you.
Is fatherhood what you thought it was going to be? Did you have an idea of what kind of dad you wanted to be?
Pretty much, yeah. I knew I wanted to be an involved dad, to be there with your mom, bringing you guys up. And we made you guys the center of our world, I remember your mom, she worked part-time. So in the evenings, I had to come from work and take over to looking after you guys. It was a natural thing for me to do. I took to it, I did it. I came from work, get you ready for bed, told you a bedtime story, the hungry caterpillar. Oh.
I guess the idea that the expectations for fathers now is a little bit different.
One of the most important things is to be the breadwinner. Yeah, but now I think fathers are more involved. They want to be more involved. I think society accepts that more. They want them to be more involved. I remember when you guys was born and I was in the delivery room and the midwife was saying to me, "Do you want to come in?" I'm thinking, do I really? Do you really want me in there? Feeling I'm going to be in the way. Yeah. But they go, no, come on in. So, that was my expectation. But I suppose yours, you knew you were going to be in there.
Yeah.
No argument about it, yeah. That's your place. But I didn't feel maybe it's my place. I've done my job. I'm waiting for the end results to, Must admit, I didn't go to many, antenatal clinics, something
antenatal
like
classes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I ever went to any of them.
It's good to see you again.
Okay. Yeah, and you.
Yeah. I really appreciated being able to tell him how lucky I was to have him as a dad. And he was forward-thinking. He was progressive. He was doing things that weren't the norm at the time, going against the grain, if you like. And what I'm finding now is that there's so many new dads that they want to be progressive dads. They want to be active in their children's lives. They want to be a main caregiver and present and supportive of their family. But at the same time, they want to be the breadwinner and they want to earn the money in the house. And that balance is quite difficult. Like a lot of men, I didn't go and seek the support.
Yeah.
We don't think it's something that we should do. We don't think sometimes the support is even there through the NHS and medical support. And I think it is something that we need to encourage more men to actually go and seek that support.
When it comes to supporting mental health, we really, really need to make sure that the questions are being asked of men, like, are you okay? How are you feeling about this?
So I've managed to get a meeting with the Deputy Head of Midwifery for NHS England, which is amazing. I really appreciate you coming to meet me. So I really, really appreciate it.
I think what you're doing with MMF is fantastic, Elliott, because sometimes health professionals don't speak the right language to be able to get across to dads exactly how important their role is.
I guess my own personal experience through the midwifery process and the NHS has been really positive. It does seem to me that there are gaps, I guess, in supporting dads' mental health.
I think you're absolutely right, Elliott. I think what we see in maternity services is that we need to be looking after our mums as part of a family, as part of a team. And for a lot of mums, that means their partner or the dad-to-be, the expectant father, is a really key part of that. And the NHS long-term plan has a plan to make sure that all men have access to perinatal mental health support by 23-24.
That's great to hear. That's very encouraging to hear.
Absolutely.
Music to my ears. I think it was a good meeting. And what was really key was the commitment to change, the commitment to long-term change. That was really important. And it's about now making sure that's implemented. So I'm off to Ashford in Kent to see a guy called Jamie. He got in contact with me through Music Football Fatherhood, and he's expecting his first child. So I'm going to see him at his house with his wife, Elliott Rae, and have a chat and see how he's doing.
So Zara told me that she was pregnant in a really exciting way, actually. I was in my office one day and Zara left a little box outside the room.
And then I ordered a onesie online that says, "Daddy, I can't wait to meet you." And I put it in a box with the pregnancy stick and a little note.
I had no idea that we may even be expecting.
How do you think we're going to cope when baby comes?
That's hard to answer. How do you think we're going to cope when the baby comes?
I think we'll be okay. I think we're as well prepared as new parents can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely have fears about raising a child. We're a little bit far away from my family, so the support is a bit further away. Another of my anxieties is that my wife and I both have a disability. I have epilepsy and my wife has a physical disability. That's something we're going to struggle with.
I've been given a prosthetic arm by the NHS. And also I'm in therapy for PTSD. So I feel like I've had a lot of support and yeah, I'm getting on with it. My biggest concerns are how am I going to lift the baby up and support the baby's neck, because they're quite fragile in the first few weeks when they're still quite small. And also like safely having the baby in the bath, washing the baby. I'm a bit nervous about that.
Hey.
Elliott, how you doing?
See you. I'm good. How you doing?
All good. Come on in.
Thank you.
Pleased you're here because we've got a Moses basket and I need help putting the legs on.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So you spoke a little bit about your fears around your epilepsy and your wife's disability. How do you feel like that might kind of impact you both?
We're worried about each other. If I was ever to have a seizure, would my wife be there at that moment to look after our child? Zara finds a way to do anything and everything. So I'm confident that she'll find a way to be absolutely fine. But we both have those anxieties.
Happy with that?
I mean, I'm quite happy with it. It is together. It's supposed to rock, but it is rocking quite a bit more than I thought it would.
Got a few screws loose, but
yeah.
A bit more work to do.
Yeah.
It's a start, though.
I appreciate your help.
So I've just met Jamie and Elliott Rae, and it was amazing meeting them. Really, really nice couple. And they're pushing through, but they've got a lot of challenges. He is a real prime example of why we need tailored advice and tailored guidance and support for new dads. How can we make sure that they're getting the support they need?
There's quite a lot of people that I know where the husband hasn't been able to take, or partner hasn't been able to take time off work because they lose their bonus or their salary's impacted in some way. Paternity leave for us, it just wouldn't be feasible because of the impact it would have on Chris's salary.
I can work quite long days, quite long hours. It's not uncommon for me to get up before Sarah. They come up here and then she'll go to bed and I'll sort of creep into the bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. I think from the side of my mental health, I used to massively prioritise work, probably a workaholic. and my other half suffers from it because I'm not there. Now I'm quite happy to down tools at a certain time and say, enough's enough. And I think when baby arrives, that will happen even more so.
So the strangest thing has just happened. I've just had a message from Elliott Rae MP's office asking me to get in contact about the work that I'm doing, but let's see.
So we're here at the amazing Queen's Park Rangers Stadium. We're doing an event, Music, Football, Fatherhood and QPR. It's called Extra Time, Parenting Conversation for Dads. And we're hoping to have lots of dads come today to join us in a conversation about fatherhood. And we're really excited about the conversation we're going to have and the revelations we're going to experience. So players, Salah, whoever it is, De Bruyne, obviously they'll have their manager. They've got their Guardiola, they've got Klopp. But they've also got people around them that support them and help them to be who they are, prepare them physically, but mentally as well for the game. And I think about my own life as well, and I think about, who's my team? I've got my wife around me, I've got my friends, and it's only recently now I've got a bit older that I'm comfortable saying I need help sometimes. And I'm gonna ask you guys to tell us some stuff, right? And open up to each other. So let's welcome Scott to the stage.
So I'm walking around this maternity ward with this minutes-old thing in my hand. And these two guys rushed past and you're just stepping out of the way and stuff. And then it wasn't until Zoe came out a couple of hours later, the midwife said, "Oh, did you see those guys running past?" Yeah. So that they were bringing the blood up, for her blood transfusion. She was properly, dipping in and out. So there's me with this, brand new thing while my wife's going through what she's going through. So I think, as we said, you can't help but then second time round, bring forward all of these past traumas for whatever term we want to use. Yeah, it's tough. So I'm still processing that, for sure.
For my situation, mine's more about experiences as being a father. I became a single father, 3 daughters, same mum. So by the time I had 3 children under the age of 5, and I was the main person to look after them. I remember picking up the phone to phone social services to get some support, but thinking if I do that, I'm failing. And that weekend, we use the term now, self-care. I didn't know it back then, but that's what it was. It was respite for me, but also for my girls.
We're all together discussing issues and supporting each other. And there's stuff that you can't talk to your wife about, or to even to close family.
I can relate with this group. I don't know anybody in this group apart from my brother-in-law. Yeah, and we can relate to each other. Yeah, and this has made me think that there is always a silver lining. You know,
we need dads to have spaces to talk about what they're going through. You know, when it comes to mental health, you know, if we want men to be open, if we want men to really be the dads and be that active, present father in the house, they need help doing that. They need community to do that.
So today is a really, really important day. We are going to meet Elliott Rae MP. She's someone in a position of power right now who can make decisions. And what I really want to get out of this conversation is a commitment to supporting fathers and putting resources and prioritizing their mental health. Hey, Andrea.
Hi, Elliott.
So nice to meet you.
Great to meet you too. Thanks for coming. Elliott, first of all, thank you for all you're doing, speaking up for dads. And they are crucial. All of the research shows that dads who are actively involved in their babies and their families are very much putting their baby's emotional and well-being development at the forefront.
We want to talk to you a little bit about mental health. What additional things can be done to support dads, new dads, dads of older children
One of the things we're doing in the Start for Life review and in the proposal for services going forwards is a much greater emphasis on the mental health of dads to make sure that when, the health visitor comes along to say, look at the baby and ask mum how she's doing, that she also turns to dad and says, and how are you feeling? How are you coping with it? So that he can also feel included and a part of that support system. And then we've got parenting classes, and that is parenting, not mothering, but parenting. We always talk in the early years review about parents and carers because, parents come in all forms, carers likewise, and actually keeping the baby at the heart of the review is what it's been all about. What does the baby need?
So I've just come out of the meeting, and to be completely honest, I didn't know what to expect. I had my doubts going in, but it was really good and encouraging to hear the stuff that Andrew was saying. I was going into that meeting speaking for all the amazing individuals and organisations that are doing great work to support dads' mental health and support fathers. When I think about it, we can't just rely on government. This is a big problem, and it's going to take all of us to be part of the solution.
So this is Clara, new addition to our family. She's had a very tiring day of eating and sleeping. She seems to be quite happy and quite content when she's being cuddled. And yeah, she's the perfect new addition for us. We're really happy she's part of our family. And if she stays this quiet, we'll be very, very happy.
How was the whole birth experience from your perspective?
I suppose you sort of go along and you do feel a little bit like when you walk in for a cesarean, you do feel a little bit like you're just there rather than part of it, obviously. And it was just like in the film, all of a sudden you heard the cry and this baby sort of handed over the top of a sheet. Like that. Oh, right, this is real. There's actually a baby in there.
I think they're going to deal with all their challenges head on and support each other and be really amazing parents. Look at me. Fatherhood has changed me as a person completely. Things that I do now are completely driven by my daughter. And sometimes I say to her, Eleanor, you've changed my life. I don't think she fully understands what that means, but I'm sure as she gets older, she'll understand how much it's changed her dad's life.
I feel really proud to have welcomed baby Kiara into the world. I think she's the most beautiful baby in the world, and I'm a very proud dad.
Details of organisations offering information and support are available at bbc.co.uk/actionline.